So this is Josh with Loud and Heavy, and I'm here with.
JB Brubaker from August Burns Red.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Hey, so you're from Pennsylvania, right?
That's right.
Big Phillies fan?
Huge Phillies fan.
Yeah?
Yeah. Baseball is kind of like my favorite thing, and Phillies baseball, they're my team. So yeah.
No, I grew up in Allentown.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've only been here for about 10 years, so
Okay.
trust me, I fully understand.
Yeah.
You're an Eagles fan too, then, right?
Yeah, I'm 4-for-4 guy.
So tell me what you think about Hamels and all the stuff that he's talking about right now that he wants out.
Yeah. Well, I was actually watching a lot of MLB Network this afternoon.
Yeah.
They were talking about that. On one hand, I can't blame the guy. Phillies aren't looking good this year. He wants to win.
Know, dude. Mike Schmidt's talking up that team right now.
That's nice of him to say. I'm being, I guess, a realist. I don't think they're going to be great. But you know what? Hamels knew what was coming. He saw that the core was aging.
True.
So, dude, you signed for $100 million or whatever he got. So just, suck it up and pitch.
What do you think about the whole Eagles controversy thing going on right now with Marcus Mariota and everything?
I don't think that we should trade up to get Mariota. I think it's a waste. I think Nick Foles is really good. He's young, and he's going to develop and be better than he is. I know that Mariota's Chip Kelly's boy,
Exactly.
But I think that would be... I think Chip would be kind of abusing his powers to go after him because he does have a capable NFL quarterback already, running his
Pretty
offense.
proven if you think about it.
Yeah. If you know the injury, I think we would have probably been in the playoffs,
I would have lost first round, though, again, just because of the freaking...
Oh, who knows?
The secondary's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. That's where I want us to draft in the first round. I want to get a nice piece for the secondary.
So, talking about that, it's kind of funny with me because when I talk to other metal bands, especially newer metal bands over the last 10, 15 years, a lot of them are not into sports at all. And it's like this whole weird thing, this whole shtick with metal now, where it's like back in the 80s, the thrash days, you could totally be good with, wearing your hockey jersey or something like that. But
yeah,
now
bands used to make hockey jerseys and sell them.
Right? What do you think happened?
I don't know. I guess it became less cool to like sports. For some reason, there was this disconnect between sports and music. But
we're from that area.
I love sports, dude. Sports is like my biggest hobby. Music was my thing, and as I got more involved with music, and as ABR became more active, and doing years and years of touring, as much as I love doing the band, it's my job. Yeah. So music became more of my job and less of my hobby, and whereas sports kind of had a little bit more of an opportunity to consume a lot of my free time.
Yeah.
So I watch sports every freaking day, every day at home, every night, especially as soon as the wife goes to bed. It's just put on whatever college basketball this time of year.
So talk a little bit about the family life and how that whole thing works, touring and stuff like that, because you guys have been touring now for 2 years on Rescue and Restore.
Yeah,
right?
This is actually the last tour we're doing on the Rescue and Restore album cycle. So overall, this cycle has been pretty light for touring. Easily the lightest touring cycle we've ever had. I mean, we still went to a lot of places, did a few European tours, hit Australia and the United States a bunch of times, but last year, I think we only toured 5 months for the whole year.
Nice.
So it was pretty chill, and it was good because I got married last year, and I had a lot of time at home with my wife to plan the wedding, and just to kind of, it was cool to be at home after we got married for a few months instead of just immediately rushing off onto another tour, which I know a couple of the other guys in the band had to deal with that,
Yeah.
Like Brent had to postpone his honeymoon because we had to go on tour right after.
Hey, it's part of the job.
It is, and we all understand that. So I really lucked out in that regard. But family life is cool at home for sure. It's definitely the hardest part of going on tour now. I really enjoy being on the road. I think it's fun, but it does suck, leaving my wife at home, not seeing her for this tour 7 weeks. It's a pretty long time to go without seeing my wife, especially since we just got married 4 months ago.
Oh man.
So, but it's cool.
Can you talk a little bit about the recording process with you guys? Because you guys are all in different areas, right?
Yeah. Well, not all of us. 3 of us are in the same general vicinity. 3 of us would say we're from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We're within 15, 20 minutes of there. Jake has been living in South Carolina. That's where he's from. Okay. That's where he grew up. He has a house down there. But he's thinking of moving up just because it would be more convenient.
The snow's awesome.
Right. Well, South Carolina's not that sick anyways. I mean, pros and cons to both, I guess. Dustin, our bass player, lives in Hagerstown, Maryland. He's about 2 hours away from us.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It can get tricky when we're trying to, like, if we have like a one-off show that we need to practice a couple times for, that's when it's the most annoying, I guess, especially for the out-of-town guys, because they have to come up for like 2-3 days for rehearsals, and then we go play one show, and then everyone goes back home. Like, it's kind of a big production for one show. But as far as recording the album, it works out really well because, like I said, 3 of us are already from the area. We just drive to the studio and drive home, you know, at dinner time every night, which is great.
Nice.
And then our bass player Dustin crashes at our manager's house, which is walking distance from the studio. And then Jake, we get him like a little hotel suite that he can hole up in for, you know, 6 weeks or whatever, however long we're doing it.
What, he can't stay on anybody's couch?
I don't know if he'd want to just sleep on a couch for that long. We like to give him his space. I'm sure he would if we were like, dude, you got to do this. But, you know, we like to do our best to accommodate.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of couch surfing over the years.
So, are you guys getting pushed into doing a new album at all anytime in the near future, or you have new stuff written yet?
Our new album is written and recorded. It's done.
Nice.
And it will be coming out this summer. So it actually feels great to have, you know, the new record in our back pocket already, and we're wrapping up Rescue and Restore album cycle right now, and go home and chill for a little bit and prepare for the new album release.
I mean, with the whole, like, because you're bringing out different fans, right? So, you know, me personally, I'm not religious, but I still love the music.
Sure.
And
that's what it is, music, man.
Yeah,
Before anything else, it is music. And I don't write music to, like, my reason for doing ABR isn't to, like, save souls. I've said that before in interviews. Like, that's not the goal here. The goal here is to entertain and write good music and songs that people want to listen to. And we feel like the position we're in, where we have, you know, impressionable minds coming out to the shows and listening to our music and reading our lyrics and stuff, we feel responsible to deliver a message that isn't, I guess it certainly is not a negative, you know, a negative message. We want to be a positive influence in the lives of young, impressionable people.
Oh, so. Sleddon Hill.
Yeah. So
what spawned that whole thing? I don't think any other metal bands are doing any kind of Christmas albums.
Well, no, I kind of am stoked that there aren't, because I think that's cool that can be like our little thing. We did a cover of Carol the Bells way back in 2007 when we were recording our album Messengers, and that song really took off for us, and a lot of people seemed to really like it, and we're like, cool, maybe we should do like a Christmas single every year. So we did a couple others, and that just kind of spawned into this thing like, wow, maybe we should do a Christmas full length. And the timing was right in 2012. We had a little bit of downtime between tours, and I had a chance to shack up and write a bunch of covers. And yeah, we just did it, and we still do a new single every year.
Nice. And
add it on. Now we just kind of like tack it on to the end of Sleddon Hill. So we're up to 15 songs now. Probably be 16 after the end of this year.
So do you go out and play Christmas, you know, Christmas parties and stuff like that?
No, not quite.
Wearing a nice little sweater.
That'd be fun. We don't play a ton of the Christmas stuff, obviously, because it's so seasonal. We do a holiday show in Lancaster, Pennsylvania once a year, where we play, you know, 3 or 4 Christmas songs along with a bunch of our other stuff. So that's kind of the extent at which we get to play that stuff out. But a lot of the songs are really layered with a lot of other instrumentation and stuff too, and it would be awesome to like plan like a whole tour around it, where we got like a bunch of guest musicians and stuff, and had like
sweaters.
yeah, just do it up, man. But to just like bang out any random song from Sleddon Hill could be tricky depending on which song we selected. So some of the more straightforward songs are the ones that lend themselves to the live environment a little bit more.
Nice. So you guys get lumped in with a lot of metalcore bands. You know, how do you guys feel about that? Because, you know, you do kind of resemble, or not resemble, but, you know, you're
a little bit like a metalcore band.
You sound like a metalcore band, but you don't sound like a metalcore band at the same time, because...
But by the definition of it, people are like, oh, you play metal parts with loud breakdowns, you're a metalcore band.
But then there's a lot of melodic parts that are kind of resemble like Every Time I Die.
Sure. Metalcore is kind of this like taboo name now, because there's so many awful metalcore bands.
Right.
Let's be honest. It's like, that's like the genre you're gonna start if you're like a 17-year-old high school kid who wants to start like a heavy band. You're gonna be crappy metalcore band. So sure, I'd rather just get called metal, you know, just drop the core. But I don't care. I understand why people would say that. I think there are still some really cool metalcore bands out there. Like you said, Every Time I Die, they are actually one of the few bands that I'm, I still get pretty excited to hear the new Every Time I Die stuff. Architects is a metalcore band that is still really doing interesting things, I think. But I don't think as a whole the genre is as cool as it used to be.
Yeah.
I think maybe a decade ago, and this is just probably me sounding old and jaded, but it was still a little bit new and fresh and exciting and less formulaic.
Yeah.
And now it's just very watered down, and there's so many bands doing it, and it's just getting more and more ridiculous with the weird like sounds and baloney that's getting thrown in. It's almost like getting cartoony, if you will.
So if I was to, which I'm not going to do, but if I was to pick up your phone and figure out what music you had in there, what would you be listening to right now?
I have a lot of music in there. I got the iTunes Match thing, so my entire iTunes library is in there.
What's your favorite thing right now going on?
I really love the band Balance and Composure. They're from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. They're like an indie rock band, but they're like heavier, kind of like with a, I don't want to say a Nirvana vibe, but like they have some like heavier grungy type stuff like that. I like that band a lot. I love Me Without You. I don't know if you know that band. They're from Philly. Another really awesome indie rock band. For heavier stuff, I really love Between the Buried and Me. I listen to them a lot still. Really excited to hear what they're in the studio right now, I think.
I love how every one of their albums is different from the other one.
And they're all just like they take a minute to like figure out, but once you get it, it's just like, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like that band is awesome, super important to me.
So do you go and get out to local shows then when you're
performing? I go to a lot of shows. In fact, I think it's important as a touring musician to get out to shows and see bands you like, so that you can remember how it feels to be in the crowd.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for covering us.
Definitely.